cause I'm doing me. Still shine with no jewelry. I would rather have the unity. It's gonna be you if it's you and me. No tears in my mama eyes. Got a team full of ride or dies. Hail Mary, nigga, rockabye. Rockabye, all eyes on me. Made it out the hood, I'm so grateful. Never know what talent gon' take it. Jealous niggas never made a breakthrough. That's why they watch it so hateful. All eyes on me. They say the top is so lonely.
That's dope.
Can I ask you a question? Like, excuse my ignorance, right? I just really started paying attention to something today. How good of a driver does a New York City firefighter have to be?
Very good.
To navigate that big bitch
Through traffic.
through New York City traffic, making a left turn with cars on either side of the. You know how. Right, like y'all typically don't have a. I've never seen like a fire truck on the way to the city.
Dumb
These trucks be taking cars out.
Dumb niggas have to be drivers at least 10, 15 years or better.
Yeah.
Cause that's
And
just
they got
skill.
training. They get trained because those things move
How
in
you
two
train a
parts.
nigga to drive a fire truck through New York City?
I never seen them
the
hit
job
nothing
training?
either.
Yeah, I never
My
seen
whole
it.
life was seeing firefighter. I never seen them hit a kid, anything. Them niggas just accurate, nothing. You know, kids run out there, you feel me?
Right.
Like I never seen it in my
Y'all
life.
got 1 million niggas on bikes, 4 million
True
niggas
story.
on feet,
The bikes is new.
but the fire.
They're electric bikes.
I would have thought like a fire truck hit 2-3 cars a day
Nope.
out in this bitch.
Not even a
But like
touch.
for real.
Don't even
And
scrape the paint.
I ain't
we
gonna
was
hold
in the
you.
room and I heard 3 fire trucks go by, and I'm like, and you could hear like. I'm like,
That mean get the fuck
I'm
out
like-
the way.
I'm like,
New York
how-
City, you hear that shit, get the fuck out the way. That's what the fuck that shit mean.
Yeah, but we not in a like I drive a big truck. I drive a lifted truck, and I got to be very careful how I make left turns. It's a lot different than when my truck wasn't lifted.
Right.
It's a bigger frame. It's a lot more, and the truck turns from a different point. Fire truck got to be,
2011 is the last time there was a fire truck crash that killed anyone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Them niggas got to be cold.
And
like,
they run constantly. They run constantly. Jay,
Right.
you ready?
I'm telling you, I heard 3. I heard 3 within like 10 minutes, Queen. Like
Champ,
3.
get
That
it going,
motherfucker just kept going. I'm like, and I think about like Ride with Banger and how hard it is to make a left off Houston Street or some shit. Trying to get to Blue Ribbon or some shit.
I don't know
And
what's
these
funny.
niggas gotta go like down 44. And they get that like
Thanks, champ.
Bun B just
was
called
something
it
catch on
Houston
fire
Street.
in Times Square. How they do that?
They do that.
Them niggas just,
Yeah.
They do that. They do that.
Like I want to drive as good as a New York City firefighter on truck duty. That's how good I want to drive.
What really gets me is the speed.
what is they doing? What is the speed though? And they
No,
truck?
they
It
don't
can't
have-
be-
they don't have
They
a-
don't have. They should not. They're not doing the buck.
No, they don't. What I'm saying is they don't have a speed limit. Their job is to get there as soon as
But
possible.
that's not the problem for me. My problem is clearance.
They do.
My problem is clearance.
I'm with you.
How is
Through a
these
red
niggas
light.
making turns in New York City? But they not
No,
not
but they don't
resting
hit
on
people,
that.
that's the point.
Because if that was the case, I'd be taking niggas out like move that. You
That's
niggas
why
know.
when you hear that
niggas
sirens,
know.
that sirens mean get
You know
the
if I
fuck out
touch
the
you,
way. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to kill you. Move the fuck out the way.
Nah, they ain't saying all that. You
That's
know
what the
better.
truck
Just-
is saying.
just
Yeah.
move.
The truck is telling you to get the fuck out the way, nigga.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is they don't hit people. They make those turns with precision and at speed. They don't slow down
Shit
to
don't
hit those
tilt over or
turns. Like,
nothing.
yeah, they
Shit
do
crazy.
that shit.
It's just something that really fucked me up today. I got stuck on it. I got stuck
It's
on
a good question. It's a real question.
Because you know when I look at this
I
city,
fuck.
when I look at this city,
Peace.
I look at everything, every level of comfort that I would have to sacrifice
In order to live here?
in order to live here,
My boy,
to have
you
access.
look warm, nigga.
Because that's the trade-off. That's the trade-off is sacrificing comfort
Boy,
for
you
access.
goody, brody.
My man. How you doing? Oh, Fees, you made it. My man. Sacrifices and trade-offs.
Alpha was good, bro.
What's the word, Jack?
Regular.
Sacrifices and trade-offs. What y'all was talking about?
Moving.
No, we was talking about fire trucks. He was like how niggas.
Like, how good do these niggas drive like a New York City firefighter, truck driver?
All right.
Like, them niggas is moving through New York City traffic at high speed, making left turns across 2-3 lanes.
And the joint is like, it's crazy.
Every time I make a left turn in New York, I just know we gonna kill a nigga. Like, for real. I just know we gonna kill a nigga. Anytime a car in New York is going, like in the city, is moving more than 50 miles an hour, we gonna eat a bite. We gonna eat that bitch, like easily. It just blows my mind.
It's just different out here. We just talking about that. We was talking about how the difference between driving in Connecticut and driving here.
We got a lot of people.
New York City, period. Like I've been plenty places, but nobody, except for the islands. The islands, they drive wild. They be in and out and all that.
In New York City, you know, the lines in the road are a gesture. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we'd appreciate it if you stayed in here. I mean, what you gonna do? Like, that's like that's New York's attitude towards that shit. Like, what are you gonna do? You gotta go where you gotta get where you gotta go.
Right.
But New York doesn't have a car culture the way Texas does. It's not the same thing.
Because we can afford to. We can afford to have a car culture.
For us here, it's a luxury. It's not a necessity.
It's a headache, even with money.
If you got someplace to put it, it's not that bad. However,
If you got someplace to put it in.
Compared to other states, yes, it's a headache. Compared to other states, it's a headache.
Bro, you can do everything the right way and your car will still get clipped. New York's just a horrible place to have a car.
Yeah.
It's not a car. We don't.
Potholes is the worst.
That wouldn't be my concern.
I just never
Like, my
got it back.
concern in living in New York as far as the car.
Fuck that.
It's not parking.
I'm just driving, but it's not worth the headache.
Wrecks.
Car used to get
Getting
broken
gas.
Getting gas.
hit.
When
all
you
that.
niggas get gas. No, because the reason I say that is because, like, I get up in the morning, I leave, I stop at the gas station, I go, it's literally, y'all got a block time. Like, if you live in the city, that's part of your errands.
Yeah.
Like, what you finna do? Shit, I gotta go get some gas, my nigga. I'll be back in about an hour.
That's a fact. It ain't that crazy, man. I'll tell you what, if you in Manhattan, yeah, you fucked.
They got rid of like
Where I'ma
75% of the gas stations.
Like, where I'ma
Facts.
be?
It's a rap in Manhattan.
You see, Sean
Your shit getting
I'm
told
not
in
gonna leave
Manhattan.
Houston and move to East New York. I don't need that experience. I'm living in the city or Jersey, and I think that's cheat code. But niggas want a yard, so I understand.
Jersey, you be all right. There's gas stations all over the place out there.
everywhere.
You can't even pump your own gas in Jersey.
That's a good
That's
thing.
good. It be brick out here, bro. It's freezing outside. You want
It'd be 100 degrees in Houston.
But you do get lazy.
good, Mom. Mary, how you doing?
They got drive-through pharmacies, drive-through supermarkets, drive up.
It ain't gonna fit in here.
I don't know, man. Call me crazy. I prefer to pump my own
He
gas.
just went to the bathroom.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
I don't want niggas. I don't
What are they gonna do to your gas tank?
put sugar in it. I don't know what the fuck.
Really? You think in 20-degree weather they get some sugar?
I live in Houston. Ain't no 20
They got the box in their jacket.
Yeah.
No,
like,
there is.
waiting to
Like in
sneeze.
Houston, somebody want to pump your gas. That's a dope thing. So I'm not trying to have that.
You got that out here,
Well,
too.
I mean, they got the same agenda.
Yeah, but in
Two
Jersey, a dope thing.
It's like five of them just waiting.
So they can't even get their little $5.
The dope fiends
In
in
New
New
Jersey.
York are too bougie to pump nobody's gas.
Nah, hell no.
Nah, you great. Go to 2/5.
That's their hustle right there. That's their hustle right there.
So I gotta leave the lowest so like come all the way to 125th to see a nigga pump gas. It just seems like a very inconvenient way to live. And again, when I speak about New York, moving to New York, it's the sacrifice of comfort.
Nah, you good, man.
Right? Yeah. That you trade
man,
off
you good, man.
for access.
You need a seat?
You know what I'm saying? It's very easy to access the world you're trying to get into in New York. If you want to get into the entertainment business in Houston, it's a very long road to travel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In New York, it's really right around the corner.
Just drive.
But it's harder for the locals than you might think.
That's metaphorical.
Where?
Literal.
In New York.
Where is it harder? In the entertainment business, where, my nigga?
Everybody
bullshit.
Everybody from out of town.
I call
that,
bullshit, and I'll tell you why. This is a very
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
This is a very easy myth to dispel.
Go ahead.
I work at Def Jam Records. I'm from Brooklyn. It's my job to find talent, discern it, and bring it to this label. I get 3 demos on my desk. A nigga from Harlem, a nigga from LA, and a nigga from Houston. Who am I giving that deal to?
The nigga from Houston.
Nope. The nigga from
You
Harlem.
why? You wanna know why? Because you running into the New York niggas all the time, and now you tired of them.
Nope. That ain't got shit to do with your job. That ain't got nothing to do with your job. Your job is to be able to bring artists that you can contribute to the music being made. You don't know Houston good enough. You got to learn a bunch of shit. I live this, my nigga. I live this.
I ain't mad at that.
I ain't
mad at that. But look, but you got to understand.
The labels that, because they don't follow that.
It's not even like that.
It depends
on who's running the label.
It's easier for a New York person.
No, it's not.
Listen, let me tell you. Let me finish. It's easier for a New York person working in a New York record company to choose to work with a New York artist because they understand them better culturally. Now, it may be different when a Brooklyn nigga try to work with a Harlem nigga or that type of shit. But what I'm telling you is, as a Houston rapper, there is no advantage for me in a New York company full of New York-born employees. There's no advantage for me.
First of all, I'm
there's no advantage.
First of all,
show me. Show me an example.
Karan Panther. He ran, was it Sony?
I know Karan.
You know Karan?
Yeah.
Years ago. This is when I used to go around shopping my demo. Sat in a meeting with him, played him my records. He said, all you New York niggas is nice. You got something else? This is in New York City. And I heard that a couple of times from A&Rs out here. That's because they keep running into it. They keep
Where's
hearing
Karan from?
all these niggas, he's from Atlanta.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's
running
an office in New York City. But
that's not the scenario I gave you. That's not the scenario I gave you. If there's a New York person with a level of authority and influence at the record company, then I might have a level of consideration.
What dispels your theory? 2 names: Nicki Minaj, 50 Cent. All of our biggest acts from New York have to leave New York in order to get signed and do something relevant.
Nicki had to pop out of town.
It don't happen.
Dre had to pick up
reason.
And what year did that start?
No.
Because I started in 1992, and the shift didn't come for 20 years.
For 20
the
years?
shift didn't come for 20 years. Where a Houston artist would get the same level of consideration.
I never said that. But see, I was really specific with what I said. I'm basing it on a New York artist in New York looking to get signed. It's not the same thing. First of all, most of these A&Rs here, they don't believe New York is a big enough market.
Now.
For a minute. For a long time. They don't believe New York is a big enough market. That's why my answer was the dude from LA is the dude who's going to get the deal because they believe that's a huge market.
Show me the Southern niggas that Sycamore put on.
I can't show
show me the Southern. Name an A&R.
Show me the New York niggas Kawan put on.
I'm talking about, this is the Mecca. Right? Before Kawan gets a job here, right? How many Southern people you know work in New York offices besides Kawan? In a position of power, because that's an anomaly, my nigga. That's an anomaly in the system.
However, for a good,
Houston,
10, 15 years, there wasn't no New York acts breaking. None. After 50, who?
Well, that's because
we still got Jim Jones Fab and these niggas, they
Yeah,
still
but you're
doing it.
signing
Who?
artists. You're not nurturing niggas. It's not like you found a demo.
Who's
Nobody's
having
finding
All right,
southern.
so everybody got an
Nobody's
issue.
finding southern artists on a demo. These niggas got motion.
Right.
These niggas got momentum. So yeah, of course you can see it. But I'm talking about when this game started. I'm talking about demos on desks. Call me old because I'm from a different era, right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I
But
came
that
into
don't
this game.
exist. Does that still exist? Demos on desk.
No, that don't exist anymore.
Not the
So
same.
who got the
Ours
upper
barely
hand now?
exist.
Well, it's not even about the upper hand. It's about understanding it enough to put your job on the line for. That's
Just
what it's
understanding
about.
what exactly.
The artist and his culture.
Oh, well, for sure.
That's
For
that's
sure.
the thing. Because if you don't pick somebody whose culture you have more familiarity with, and you put everything on the line from a nigga from Ohio, you ain't never been to Ohio, don't know nobody from Ohio. You gotta even figure out if he the shit in Ohio.
Bun with it.
Nah, I can call somebody. I can call my cousin. I can call my classmate. I can call my barber. I can call my weed man. Hey, you live uptown. You ever heard of these little niggas? You ain't got nobody to call in Houston and ask who's who. The shit makes your job difficult. It makes, and I'm not talking about a DJ or a program director. I'm talking about the streets. Who's really popping?
Would it blow your mind to know that there are people from New York in the New York office who have no idea what New York hip hop culture looks like?
Yeah, at probably now, if they're under 25 or 26.
Nah, this dude's my age, they're fucking the game
Way
up.
before that. Way before that.
Bro, this is what happened in New York City. 50 Cent put out In the Club, and every New York fucking rapper tried to make a club record after that. All the major label New York rappers, they kind of like abandoned the traditional New York sound, and it got corny for a long time until fast forward, you got
Are we
dudes like-
filming?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You got Griselda and all that coming out now. Now everybody in the city wants to rap on grimy beats again. But for a long time, dudes were trying to make it In the Club or a Lean Back.
And if
for,
you were in
for
New
20
York
years.
trying to make a record that
But
sounded
you
like
understand
traditional
why.
New York,
It's not-
you didn't
it's not
get
the
me wrong.
artist.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's not the
you're-
artist.
But you're just
Let's-
dealing with
It's
what
the
we dealt
idea,
with
the
for
thrill
years.
of having a fucking...
No,
You're just dealing with what we did.
hold on, because we've been saying all this stuff. Like we gotta give some of this negative credit to the fact that these labels look at what blow and then they cookie cutter the shit out of it.
Well,
So
again,
it's not even,
it's half and
it's
half.
not
It's
even
the
if
artist
they
and the
wanted
label.
to make it.
It's
It felt like they needed to
Well,
make
no, I
it.
used to go to the labels. There's a lot of A&Rs I could shit on right now, but I'm not gonna because I'm happy that they're feeding their
truly
families.
should.
Right.
I used to go to the labels and they'd be like, when are you finally gonna sell out? They used to look at me and tell me that. They'd be like, we can't do anything with these beats. But then guess what? I find the Mac Millers and the Action Bronsons and the Joey Badasses. Oh, now all of a sudden they're coming to me for the beats. And I'm like, nah, like I don't want to produce the people you're signing off numbers because that's not how I work. I work on the shit I love, and I've always been like that. And the same cats that used to ask me, when are you gonna sell out? Now they're like, can I get a beat tape? I'm like, nah, if you got a new artist, and I bring them to the studio, we'll work from scratch. I'm not
If I
sending
like
out
'em.
beats, emails and shit. That's corny.
No, but it's welcome to the game. Welcome to the life. It's not. It's way more difficult than people think to get some kind of motion in New York as a New Yorker.
now I would imagine that the numbers here are way against y'all. Like trying to stand out as a rapper in New York.
Mission
The
impossible.
Everybody's a rapper.
number-
yeah.
Exactly.
Mission
Like
impossible.
for y'all, it's surely a numbers game.
You
right?
got to remember this. I'd say 90% of people that work at the labels are failed rappers. They wanted to rap at some point, whether it was high school, college. At some point, all of them tried to rap. All of them.
Right.
Every single one was either a DJ, a rapper, or a producer.
No.
And it didn't work out, so now they're...
Now they're just crushing everybody else.
100%.
That's why the beautiful thing
Like
about this information is, the beautiful thing about this era that we live in now is that we get to cut more and more of these people out of the equation.
That's
These-
Mecca.
You know what I'm saying?
Cutting people out of the
like
equation, they
that's
suck.
the thing. You got to cut these people out of the equation in order for this to kind of clean itself up. You know what I'm saying?
For that, we
Like,
got to get rid of the cliche of hating. 9 times out of 10, when you go to dead somebody because they shouldn't be here, it's called hating. Oh, you hating on me? I'm just trying to get my money, and we're all supposed to be okay with that. I'm just hustling.
It's participation awards, though. That's why.
But that goes for the quote unquote talent as well. So a lot of these dudes don't care about being good; they care about being famous. Totally huge distinction.
Well, no, because you don't have to be good to be famous.
But that's my point.
So there's no need to aspire for that.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Right. So what do we? Participation.
That came from when
Yeah, but-
Jeezy came out. Jeezy's
But
like, I'm not a rapper.
who you blaming?
And then a lot of people after that were like, oh, neither am I. But
No,
I'm gonna make
Siegel
like, so
started
who-
that.
it became like a cool thing.
Nah, Hov was the first
Siegel
one I
started
know.
blaming
Who
for
started
that?
that? I'm not.
Siegel,
Who are we blaming for that?
As far as
the advancement of technology.
Like, I mean,
That's the
there's
social
no,
media?
there's not one. It's not one person's fault. The artists react. If I'm hungry and I'm in the hood and this looks like a good way out, okay, let me do it. And it don't take that much effort. I don't have to be as nice as Bun B. I could just say some nonsense and people seem to love it. So now I'm feeding my whole family off the nonsense and cool.
That's a bit far-fetched. It's not that easy. And you know that and I know that.
Yeah.
It's not even close to being that easy.
The
How many rappers in New York?
Give us an example.
How many
man.
rappers in New York? Right? Because the majority of niggas that's trying to do this will never make it. Just like the majority of the niggas that could hoop great in high school ain't gonna make it to the pros.
But why?
You got more of odds of making the NBA than you do having a $1 million rapper.
Because people aren't honest about what the fuck they really want.
And they don't have the discipline to go after it once they figure out what it costs.
Well, here's the thing.
Multiple reasons
We
across the
complain
board.
about the music and the direction of the music, right? And you can point the finger at everybody, but this shit is all in the hands of the consumer. Like, this shit ain't, us making music and it being sold ain't got shit to do with us. It's about them. So whenever you see music selling that you don't think should sell, you got to complain to the buyer. If I got dirt weed in a world full of dro and niggas buying dirt weed, I'm gonna sell dirt weed. Don't
facts.
complain to me for selling dirt weed. Complain to niggas for buying it. Because I'm finna come through with this bunk bullshit ass weed and get money.
So this is why the numbers are
And that's rap right now. Niggas
that's
get
right.
mad because they feel rappers don't execute to a high enough level to be considered a part of the culture. If the people that's buying it ain't asking me to do it, why the fuck would I do it? Why would I exert the energy? If I could fuck a girl in a hoopty, why would I hustle to get a Benz?
Right.
Bun, don't you want a Benz?
Who?
You.
Eventually, yeah, but if my quality of life doesn't change whether or not I have a Benz, that shit ain't no priority.
I don't know if you're the person to make that argument because your music quality is never dropped.
I'm not
It's
talking about
never
me, I'm
dead.
talking about them other niggas.
That took no time at all.
I've been holding that one there for a while. I've been holding that one.
Streaming though, I call it, and it's not personal anything, it's just a thing I call it. It's like the Drake Kanye effect, right? A lot of people act like they hate Ye or hate Drake or whatever, this or that. But when they drop an album, no matter if you like them or hate them, you press play because you're interested. So a lot of the numbers on streaming services are off curiosity and social media talk. So people, you might not, all right, so back in the day, let's say you don't like MC so-and-so and they drop an album. You're not going to Best Buy and buying that album. But if you don't like so-and-so and you got Spotify in your hand, you're like, I wonder what that song with
It's just one
him
click.
and whatever. You press play and at least 25% of the streams out there, at least, are off curiosity. And you got people who literally don't like artists or do like artists or whatever. They're not even clicking the shit they like because they know what to expect from a Bun album. But they're gonna click Drake because they're like, oh, he got a song with some dude from London. They click it and it goes on and it got nothing to do with the artist. It just has to do with that curiosity and the hype on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. It's like, nah, I'm curious. Right now, if a basketball player put out an album, he might get some streams just because people are curious. Not because people want to go put their $10 in their pocket. They're just curious, and a lot of streams come from that. It's an effect that didn't exist.
I think that accessibility has a lot to play in the quality of the music. I think now since you have it in your phone, you don't have to wait online. You don't have to be online for hours when an album drops. You don't have to go to different stores because they sold out over here. You don't have to do that anymore. It's just one click. You're scrolling all day. What are you seeing? What's on your timeline? What's the most popular thing? That's what's going to be
Keep
in
it
your
moving
mind.
your day. You don't have to go to the. You don't have to like plan in your head.
I think
I'm gonna get this today. You
I
press
don't
play.
think it's the quality of music. I think the introverted artist is in trouble. Because now you gotta excite people. You gotta keep people's attention. You gotta be in
there
their
has
face.
to be a social.
Yeah.
There has to be a social aspect of what you're doing.
So if
But-
you just
but-
make great music, but you don't really talk like that,
But that's
it's up for
always
you.
but that's always been a problem. You've never been able to be a fully introverted artist and be as successful as
Who
somebody.
is Nas?
No.
Who is Nas, my man?
Say
Who's Nas?
I offer.
Nas
I offer
is
a
not
counter.
a
to
big
that.
Nas has gotten away for that with that shit for 20 years.
I
bro.
offer a counter to that because Scarface is one of the most mysterious artists that have ever existed, and he's considered one of our best. We still don't know a lot about Scarface as a person, just the music. He doesn't come out, he doesn't share much, he doesn't talk a lot, but he's still considered one of the best.
We're talking about different eras, clearly.
Not but Cole and Kendrick, they're like that.
You talking to a 50-year-old nigga. I don't know what you want me to talk. I don't know what perspective you expect me to have in this share. I'm a 50-year-old nigga. I don't know how much 2020 shit I'm supposed to really have a voice to speak to in that shit.
Do you even listen to today's music?
Yeah, of course.
Then
everybody listens to today's music. Look, people aren't honest about. Everybody want to act like they got taste and they curate their playlist. That's bullshit. We like to believe that everybody has their own respective audience. All this shit got overlap. You know how many people listen to music that directly contrast each other? How many people have Queen Latifah and Sexy Red in the same phone? You know what I'm saying? Those things are supposed to be counter. The person that listens to this isn't even supposed to be able to relate to that. But there's more people like Sexy Red trying to be successful like her than there are people looking at, like, there's more, here's the thing. There's more lawyers, right, listening to Sexy Red than there are people like Sexy Red that do things that lawyers do. The lawyer's going to go and be professional and do all of this type of stuff and carry themselves with class and all that. And then when they go home and they take off the clothes or whatever, and they in the mirror, they ski ye. You motherfucking right.
I don't think it's that simple.
No, it is that simple. It is that simple. We are not as complicated as we like to believe we are.
When those lawyers is outside, they in the club. That's what they're going to hit.
No, not in the club. At home.
At home.
At home. They would never carry themselves. Every woman twerks.
Yeah.
You just don't see every woman twerking. Every woman listens to dance music and shakes their ass in a place that they feel comfortable doing it.
Yep. That's what my daughter
Every single woman does it. They all don't feel comfortable doing it in public in mixed company, half naked.
Right.
But I assure you that every woman listens to songs and feels just as sexy as Nicki Minaj when they listen to Nicki. And when Nicki's saying she's doing, they doing it in them, they doing all that shit. We are not as complicated and complex as we like to let the world think we are. We about all that shit. It just don't work everywhere we move. So that's why the quality of music will not change, because way more people complain about shit because it sounds good. It sounds good.
You think they don't mean it?
No, absolutely not. How much of yourself do you really tell people about yourself until you're comfortable being fully honest? Most small talk is small talk. I'm not finna get deep with you unless we start talking politics or religion, right? Now that's something that's gonna strike a nerve in most people.
Which is why most people don't have politics or religion as a subject at the dinner table.
Absolutely. That way we can keep it very surface and superficial.
And have a good time.
Yes.
It's better guarantee that we'll...
The more you ask about me, the more you're gonna know about me, and I don't know if you even need to know that shit about me.
Oh, you preach it to the choir.
Like, that's just that simple. The more questions I ask you, even if you don't answer them, I'm learning more things about you. So let's talk about the next Marvel movie or some shit.
Iron Man 4.
I don't want to feel like I need everybody to know what they want to know about me. I offer what I feel like offering, my nigga.
And that's respectable. But we're entering the era of the Truman Show.
We've been there.
Look, it's not that I'm saying I have anything to hide.
No,
I'm just not finna offer everything up. That's it.
No, my grandmother used to say it's not a secret, it's just not your business. I feel the exact same way. Like, I'm not, well, you keeping secrets. You have no need to know this information. Not to mention the fact there's certain questions I believe people ask that are only built to size you up. They're only really asking these questions to figure out how much respect they need to give you, which is why those are questions I steer away from. What school did you go to? What do you do? How old are you? Where, who's your wife? Who's this? Those are all, I'm trying to figure out if your job is better than my job, then I probably need to give
trying to figure out if your life is better than my life.
Because then I need to give you some, if you're younger than me, I could probably shit on you because you don't know as much as me. If you're older than me, well, I got to talk to you a little different because you probably know more than me, and I gotta approach these questions a little different. But most of those questions I feel just come out of respect. It's a matter of how much respect I need to give you. If I tell you I'm a consultant, and you tell me you're a doctor, I'm supposed to.
No, what kind of doctor are you? What's your practice? But then we start saying, where did you go to school at?
You could be a dumbass. You could be a dickhead. You could be a racist. You could be all kinds of wild shit with a long list of credentials, but here I am respecting it because the credentials matter more than the person.
Well, just because you're a doctor don't mean you're smart. Every class got a D
Then
student.
there's that.
That's a fact.
Then there's
every class had a D student.
You could be dumb
Especially
for a
what they
doctor.
teach in the medical
You
school
could have
these
been
days.
you're a doctor by 70.1%. That was your shit. You barely made it as a doctor.
Just crept in by 1 point.
Bad 0.1.
Doctors ain't even doctors no more. They drug dealers.
And they want fame too. Like, I've never seen people make so much money feel the need to tell people, like, hey, can you help me tell people how rich I am, kind of a thing? Like these doctors, they want podcasts, they want YouTube channels, they want to rap.
Reality
You know what I'm saying?
It's the me
Because it's
era.
glamorous.
Attention is the new currency. Currency is not currency. Attention is the new currency. And I need attention for these things I'm doing. I can't just do them because you don't respect the job. You respect the fame. Fuck the job, it's the fame, which is why you get a celebrity barber, a celebrity chef, a celebrity this, a celebrity. You can have a celebrity accountant if they.
Hip hop is
more
supposed to
people
save you.
respect superficial shit rather than the real shit.
That's why attention is the new currency. Super superficial. Like,
But that's on the surface. Like when you think about Griselda and all these other artists who make hip hop music, like you guys, right? There's still a plethora of fans and a demographic of people that want that music.
Absolutely.
Right? It's a big market out there. When we went to Paul Wall and Terminology shit, that shit was packed, right? Went to y'all shit, packed, right? And this is consistently. So it means that, like, regardless of how much the mass production of the cookie cutter artist is out there, there's still a core base.
It's because people are feeding for that hip hop feeling.
it's undeserved.
But they're not going to take it from anybody. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's not that people don't want that music. Maybe they just don't want it from you. That's what artists gotta learn. Like, yo, I'm trying to do something different than what everybody else is doing. Yeah, but are you good at what you do? Or are you just different? Because that ain't enough, my nigga. Like, just because you don't want to do what everybody else is doing, give me a good reason to support you in that. We're not giving, like you said, participation awards. You know what I'm saying? We're not doing that.
Yeah, but they want one. That's
I was
question.
big. I don't.
They give them niggas, they need a hug. That's what them niggas need. And this ain't
I
the
feel like we
place.
shitting on somebody's dreams right now. I don't think.
Isn't that what you say I do all the time?
Yeah, you do. I don't like that though.
You know what I mean?
I don't like that shit.
And this is subjectable, but as soon as people started going, oh, there's no more gatekeepers in hip hop and all that, man, there needs to be a little bit. Like, there has to be a little bit. As soon as people start being like, oh, the DJs don't matter, it's like, wait, what?
But what are they keeping? What gates are they keeping?
Quality.
Just the way for people
who?
to filter, for the people to, like, I personally trust people's ears. Rest in peace, K Slay. I knew if I wanted to hear some New York ignorant shit to put on K Slay show. If I want to hear some grimy shit, I'll put on Primo. If I want to hear the club shit, I'll listen to Camilo. But I still know what I'm going there for, and I trust that.
So make that music, support that part of the
Absolutely.
culture, and shut the fuck up if you don't make no money. Shut the fuck up if you don't make no money.
Absolutely.
If it's for the culture, it's for the culture.
Absolutely.
We don't make Trill Static to make money. We make money, right? We have projects
It's a
that we
sport
do
for
that are
us.
designed to create income and revenue. And we take that very seriously. But everything ain't meant for that, and everything, quite frankly, ain't gonna make that.
Right.
Just because you make good music don't mean people gonna buy it. I'm sorry to tell you. That's just not how this shit go. You could be the best rapper in the room, but also be the most unrelatable motherfucker in the room. You know what I'm saying? People have to at some point relate to you and what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And if the majority of people don't relate to you, you're not gonna be that successful financially, right? Now, you can sleep good at night because you contributed to the culture, right? And if you're a single man, knock yourself out. But if you got people that count on you, you got to be doing the best thing. You can't be living your dreams out on your family time. I'm sorry. You can't do that. It's not fair to people. Well, you could be doing more than, yeah, but I'm not trying to do it. This is for the culture. Now, I'm not saying make music, I'm not saying go and make music just to make money, right? But what the fuck are you going to work for if it's not to take care of your quality of life? I tell young dudes, look, man, if it's just you and you just want to smoke weed and hang with your homies and you can deal with the repercussions of these decisions, that's fine. But if you got a girl that you really want to keep with you, that you really like, or you done made a baby with a girl and you trying to make this shit out, you got to go to work. This rap shit is a hobby until a nigga pay you to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're not contributing to the culture until other people are telling you make more for us. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, your issue with hip hop, quite frankly, it's a personal problem. That's on you. Hip hop outgrew what you wanted it to be years ago.
That's not true.
It is what
it really is.
That's not
it
true.
really is. It really has.
Every individual.
Well, maybe you don't want to call it hip hop, but the culture and the things that you want, that you believe define the culture, too many things have infiltrated.
Yeah.
Too many things have
Yeah, but
infiltrated.
the culture itself still remains what it is, even if it's suffering. Like still a human body, even if it's sick.
So is the problem that we've not drawn deeper lines of separation?
No. I think
because from the way you're phrasing it and presented it to me, there may be from where I'm standing, too many things are being considered hip hop and culture, right?
Yeah. So and I was going to add to that.
So are we saying that all rap is not a part of hip hop culture?
No. What is hip
Rap
hop
is
culture
hip-hop.
at this point?
I get mad when people call Post Malone hip hop. I love Post Malone. That ain't hip hop. Why is he
What
winning
is
awards at
hip-hop
Billboard
culture?
and all that for rap album of the year or rap
Static.
song of the year? That's crazy.
Rapping,
Bun,
DJing,
Mac, what is
graffiti,
hip-hop culture at this point?
breakdancing. I just said
Anything
it.
that involves
It's
the
four
five
elements.
elements of
You
hip-hop.
just named some shit that niggas stopped doing in the 90s.
What?
That's
Name
not
me-
true
name
at all.
me one thing that they stopped doing.
Bro,
Bro,
was breakdancing. You seen when the last time you seen
International.
When the last time you seen a nigga
International. You don't know where the fuck you
Where y'all going?
You don't know where to look.
To be
You
fair,
don't know where
Somebody
to look.
tell me,
To
where
be
you
fair,
going?
You don't know where to look.
I just saw 3,000 people in an arena.
You don't know where to
You
look.
saw it.
Yeah, but it's going
There
on.
was 3,000 people there.
When the last time you
Because
seen a
they're
nigga
not invested
breakdance?
in that. If they loved
You
breakdance-
went there to see the breakdance.
No, I didn't. It's part of what I do, bro.
I think
what you
hip-hop,
do,
I
right?
think hip hop is what it is when you find it.
Bro.
And that's basically
I'll be
what it
very
is.
honest.
Hold on.
I just think hip hop is what, because if you wake up in 2023 and you're 15 years old and you fall in love with hip hop, you fall in love with what hip hop is today, and you can't tell those kids that that's not hip hop.
Absolutely. You make a burger, that's hip hop. Bun B making a burger, that's hip hop. But if
You lost me.
Hold on.
It's a good salesman.
I know what he means. I know what he means. Bun B is a representation of hip hop culture existing in different places, right? But
this is what I'm saying. D always says this on the show, and I like it because he argues with people on the phone and shit. Is Juice a hip hop movie? Absolutely.
No. You think so?
What? It's about a DJ.
It's Home Alone, a Christmas movie.
No, but hold up.
We there now.
It's menace to
Juice is a
society
hip-hop movie, bro.
No, it's not. Some people would call it because the soundtrack. The movie has nothing to do with hip hop at all.
Jason's Lyric is not a hip hop movie. I just want that on the record.
No, but I'm saying
I want that on the record. That ain't hip shit. I just want that on the record.
I say Boys in the Hood.
No.
Those aren't hip hop movies.
Not at all.
There's definitely a hip hop influence, like in the obviously the soundtrack and all that, but it's not about hip hop.
And in the lifestyle.
Juice is a hip hop movie. Like Belly is not a hip hop movie.
Crush Groove.
Crush Groove's a hip hop movie.
That's a cheat code.
Right, because the thing, Boys in the Hood, you can take all the rap music out of it and the movie still resonates.
And it's still Boys
right.
in the Hood.
But there's Juice, the same movie, if you take all the rap
It's about
out.
hip hop. It's about a DJ.
Yeah, but if you can't put the music in, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying?
It's a
hip hop movie inherently.
Talk about the word hip hop
What
and how it's
about
labeled.
movies?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is if you can take the hip hop music out of it, it's just a movie.
Right. It's not
That's what
hip
I'm
hop.
saying.
Okay,
Right,
so
no,
hip hop
right.
out of Juice
But
is
that's
no
why I
movie.
say
saying
you
the
can't
same
take
thing.
the
No,
hip hop out of
he
Juice.
agrees with you.
It's central to the story.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
No,
not
you're
arguing
right.
with you.
But I'm saying the general public,
I'm
I think
strengthening your
sometimes
argument.
considers movies
Fellas.
hip hop because maybe a rapper's in it or this or that. But it's hip hop. Got to be protected as a word, man. It's
Are
a
We
very
There
important-
Yet has a rapper in it. That ain't a fucking hip
Absolutely
hop.
not.
No, but
It's a
Scarface has been mentioned a million times,
And it's not a hip hop
on
movie.
hip hop records. It's not a hip hop movie.
But
Neither
the whole thing
is
but
Goodfellas.
The whole thing is what
Goodfellas also.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
whole thing is what Statik said. I don't agree with because Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, and other movies, they resonate in hip hop because of the stories that's told through rap.
But that's like
Right?
saying what's
Being
going
poor,
around the
selling
corner
crack,
does too.
prostitutes, all of that shit.
Yeah,
is
but
sold
you
in
don't
rap
need,
music.
but you don't need hip hop music to tell that story.
And you
You
definitely
don't, but it's what catapulted a lot of things.
all
in rap.
of
Even
those
though
things
rap
were
didn't start
happening
like
before
that.
hip hop came
Right.
around.
So that just means that hip hop made it better. That
Right.
just means it wasn't inherently hip hop. But hip hop's
Hip hop
actual.
made the world better. Absolutely.
I think we're just talking about juice. But no, but I mean, look, it's very hard to separate hip hop from anything that's being presented as culturally based at this point. It's very hard.
If you know,
It
you
has
know.
too many branches.
If you know, you know.
Well, I mean, there's very how many products are being sold through that cultural
Sure.
level of influence. Like everything's got something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that's got the? I live in Houston, so Kroger's is one of the main chains, and there's like a Kroger's commercial where they're talking about their prices are low, and it's Flow Rider, and everybody looks at the prices low. Like it's they're actively looking for ways to because hip hop is inherently cool, right? And I don't care what part of life you live in, hip hop is cool. If you're dead ass poor, hip hop is cool. If you rich as fuck, hip hop is cool. Like it represents every part of the American dream, every part of the world that we live in. I don't care if you're in war-torn countries. You go to a war-torn country, you see Tupac every fucking where.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
you see a mural of Tupac every fucking where. You go somewhere where they smoke, where weed is legal. You gonna see Snoop Dogg everywhere. Fucking way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's not that it's just inherently cool. It's hypnotic. It's easy to put a message in a hip hop song. I can educate you in a hip hop song. I can't do that in a reggae song. Not so much. The song will be much longer.
Hip hop isn't
R&B
vague.
song.
Hip hop
I can-
isn't vague, right?
I can
Rock
give
songs
you
can be
theology. I can give you
Right.
philosophy. I can feed
Absolutely.
all this to you.
and it's clear what I'm doing
And
when
it's
I do
clear.
it.
Yeah.
Right? These rock songs sometimes, and I don't know, maybe because I'm not a rock fan, sometimes I don't really know what we're getting at. Right? Like, it's one song that it's about the dad, or what I didn't know it was about a nigga crying about his
Kiss
dad.
from a Rose.
You know what I'm saying?
What is that?
Like,
what is
I
that
don't know.
song about?
Kiss from
Anybody know?
by Seal.
Yeah.
It's a love song.
No, it's not. It's about cocaine. Didn't know that.
People
did
in
you?
love with coke.
Kiss from a
There it is.
Word?
Cocaine's definitely a love story.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Seal-
It's a love-hate story.
I said what I said.
Hold on, man.
It's a love-hate story.
Face look like that?
No.
You sniffing coke? You
No,
said the
no.
song's about-
They got I can't feel my face when I'm with you in kids movies. That's kind of crazy. That whole shit's about cocaine.
Yeah.
I mean, Prince made religious songs and people sniff coke
Well,
too.
it's like Redbone. Come and get your love.
Prince
They talking about
sniffed
heroin.
coke while making religious songs. I'm almost certain.
A lot of people ain't ready for the conversation that most of the greatest music of all time was made off of
drugs.
narcotics
People on drugs, yeah.
or alcohol.
Yeah.
But either way, like
Well, most of the great art was made
Absolutely.
with some kind of outside
Jimi
influence.
Hendrix.
A lot of these
steroids for art, really, because when you let yourself just relax and do whatever, it's different than being sober. At least in a stressful ass world, you put 5 drinks in me, I'm gonna make better music. I'm telling you, it's a fact.
Well, that's because you're not even, you know, the less hindrance you have
Yeah.
in presentation, you know what I'm saying, the bolder you present.
And some of them need that to turn it off. Like, so I believe some of our geniuses, it's such a non-stop thing. They need to dull it down in order to just function during the day. Like Hemingway was an alcoholic. Jimi Hendrix, alcohol, different.
I mean, the
But
greatest music in the world
their
is
minds
jazz, and that's
operate
all
with such a
heroin.
high level of hyperactivity.
Yeah.
Right? Is that like their whole shit, their mind is giving them ideas and telling them to do this, try this, what do you think of this? Look deeper into this. And motherfuckers like, I just want to smoke a cigarette and chill. Like, I just want to actually chill in a normal place, but my mind don't work like that. So
Miles
I got to
Davis.
do something just to like,
Bring it out.
yeah, just,
To
no,
calm it
to
down.
bring it, to shut
Bring
it
it, shut
down.
it down.
You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise I'll be up all night in the garage building shit. When I need to just go sit down and watch a movie with my wife or go play a game with my kids. But my mind is, I'm so wired up. You know what I'm saying? So we were talking about that with my man Cal Wayne. He's like, I'm in New York. I'm finna rap. Like, I'm ready to motherfucking go. Like, this the place.
Yeah,
I'm like, my
right.
nigga, calm down.
thought you was gonna find a cipher on every corner. And shit.
Yeah, no, it's just like, but he's ready. He just wants to be prepared. And some people, once they've lived a certain amount of time operating in a certain way, it's hard to turn that shit off.
All right, I want to dial it back a little bit because you started off this conversation with this misperception of what New York, how easy it is for New Yorkers.
And I'm glad I have clarity for that. Because again, I'm operating from how shit was happening in 92. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is just the coin flip, right? Like New York now feels ostracized from hip hop community in the way that we felt. Not ostracized, but isolated.
Not the hip hop community, the
music industry. Okay, let's clarify that.
Definitely.
Because there's still a lot of records that's popping out here.
Yeah, you're gonna
I will not hear 100 miles away from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna hear that shit when I get to the Midwest. I'm not gonna hear the shit when I get to Atlanta.
Well, you preach it to the choir. Yeah. You preach it to the choir. But niggas still gotta move in spite of. You still gotta move and push for it in spite of. We were never the popular taste until we became the popular taste. But that's because niggas didn't understand it. It was too far. They couldn't see that. This was not when there was, where you could go online and see somebody in Houston or go on YouTube and look up things like that. You had to go, people still had to go in a record store to buy a song. You know what I'm saying? So back then, if you wanted to know what was going on in Texas, you had to go to Texas. There was nothing to see to get it and be, oh, okay. That's why certain rappers like Cam went to college at Blinn, got a lot of No Limit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of Cash Money, a lot of the Houston hip hop scene influence. In that way, comes back with a deep understanding of how everybody's collectively looking at hip hop. And now you're in a position to present that shit in a way that actually offers an entry point to everybody else. And I don't blame the artists. I believe that the industry and the system was not trying to offer that to people because, like I said, those things just made your job harder. Now, because of that, we had to employ DIY. So a lot of us built ourselves up. We had to go and create the relationships ourselves that record companies would afford you, right? So if I wanted to talk to heads of radio, I had to go and try to call. I had to go to the radio station and talk to those people. And so we built up a system of self-sufficiency while also expanding the brand and our culture to the world. Now people not only see it, they actually see it as a path to success if you pay attention to it. And because the dynamic shifted, because so many other elements were being brought into the culture that weren't always necessarily a part of New York hip hop, now the entry point for you is further away than it's ever been. Because when hip hop started, I'm not even gonna say New York, when hip hop started, New York rappers were successful because that's where it came from.
That was all there was.
We didn't have any other choice.
But see the fact that you said New York rappers, it wasn't New York rappers.
I'm sorry. New York
rappers.
rappers. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
It wasn't.
When hip hop started, there were
when we started
no
to marginalize regions, that's when you really started to see a dissension. Because I mean, New York, there's New York rappers, then there's the South. Nobody really says the North or the East Coast. They say New York and then the South.
Well, I mean, in the South,
now, if you had to pick,
you have to go to New York.
No, but here's the
we
thing.
Gotta be, we gotta
East Coast.
then you got this huge region.
Yeah.
Right, but I don't know this because I'm in the South in the same way that you don't know how big the South is.
And there's no technology to connect us.
Yes, absolutely. So those lines are almost already predestined inside it. It's the consumers that started to tear these walls down. You know what I'm saying? And when I came in the game, there was New York and there was West. There was most of the music was coming from the East Coast, and then eventually the West Coast started releasing music. But we don't know the East Coast. We think New York is New York. We don't. New Jersey, what the fuck that got to do with New York? That's New Jersey. Connecticut, what the fuck that got to do with New York? That's Connecticut. Philly, what that got to do with New York? But that shit is all the East Coast, right? And so once we, like you say, it's a closed-minded view, right? Eventually we realize that, and we start paying attention. Okay, so the East Coast ain't just New York. It's this, and that. The West Coast ain't just LA. It's Sacktown. It's Oregon. It's Vegas. It's all of that. And then we're like, but what is the South?
Goes on and on and on and on.
Keep going.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep going.
You're right. So we're like, okay, we could actually win this game.
Definitely.
We could actually win this game. We could be
By a
successful.
landslide.
But
By a landslide.
we got to convince the consumers that they have the power. And that's where the shift came. When y'all started letting niggas call in their requested videos, that's where the shift came. We had more niggas calling for our shit. We never had a voice in it. We had to turn on TV and whatever you on TV raps played, that's the hip hop we got. You know what I'm saying?
An element that came from the South, though, that we didn't have is y'all all, we were just talking about driving before we started filming. We're talking about driving in general. New York sucks driving and all that. Most people don't have cars here. Everybody down south has to have a car. So you're pulling up with a bunch of CDs in the trunk, selling them outside the club when that was never a reality. I mean, besides the mixtape era, like the mixtape DJs would go to Canal Street, the clubs and all that. But artists weren't pulling up in New York with a trunk full of CDs.
Selling their own shit.
It wasn't happening, especially in the 90s. Maybe a little bit later. But in New York, if you try to sell a CD to someone, it's like, get away from me, because it's like, it's nonstop. The Times Square, the dudes will like violate you if you say you're all set. They'll talk shit to you. It's a whole different attitude. Where in the South, cats were pulling up and just being like, look what I got. People were interested, because especially in the 90s, because dudes like Master P and all them doing it, like people were like, holy shit, you rap? That was back when like not everybody rapped.
Right.
So you got a whole element
Key
down there
component.
where people are like, oh shit, you rap? I want to hear it. Nowadays, if someone's like, I rap, it's like, go that way. But that shit was just so different, and that's where you guys had a whole different hustle.
Especially here, because your chances of selling that CD to another rapper are huge compared to any place else. You walk up, yo, here's my CD, I rap. You're literally selling crack to a dealer. I don't want yours. I got my own. I'm still trying to get my shit.
Right.
Or if I'm not the dealer directly, my man rap, my brother rap, my cousin rap, my sister rap, my man's a DJ, like I don't want this. Get the fuck away from me. Whereas when you go other places, these folks are living the life.
Because we come from communities that are starved for representation. That's the problem. We have to support people from where we are in order to see ourselves in artists.
And we really don't have anything that looks like that here. But I remember talking to Young Thug and Paul Wall years and years and years ago. These dudes didn't need to come to New York to sell anything. Like, at all, period. They were fine where they were, living great lives, houses, cars, never leaving, tour,
That's how big
show.
hip-hop is, though. Like, Paul Wall, that dude's selling out, like, doing thousands of people at car shows and shit. And if he comes to New York, it's a whole, like, he's happy to come here, because his whole career, he never really went to New York a lot. But then you got him in, like, he gets the bag in, like, Arizona, the Southwest, all that. These dudes are A-list superstars. It's crazy. And then he comes here and people get excited, because you never saw Paul or Bun that much in New York as compared to, the artists, like, more the Atlanta cats and shit. Houston got its own monster of a scene that, like, when
It's
a New
its
York
own
rapper goes to
ecosystem.
Arizona
Texas.
or goes to New Mexico, like, it's quiet. And they just, like, superstars out there. It's crazy. And that's how ill hip-hop is.
But the crazy thing is, I didn't know, honestly, anything about Houston until I heard y'all on Big Pimpin'. And then I went and bought everything.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole back catalog after that, Sam Goody and all of that.
And that's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? But that was the problem with Pimp even wanting to be on the record, because it was so far away from what we represented. It's sonically, it was just nothing near what we were. And he was very concerned that people would hear that and think that was us, because it wasn't Hov sound either.
Right.
Like Big Pimpin' as a record had never been.
It was Timbaland.
Yeah, it was. But even still, even with a Timbaland beat, this was a very foreign type of song. Like, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But this was a very, very different type of record. You know what I'm saying? And just by the grace of God, the shit actually worked.
How did that come about?
That's a long story. It's because there was supposed to be a song before that, but it didn't happen because it was literally in the middle of the East Coast West Coast situation. So Hov wanted Pimp C on Just a Week Ago with Too Short. He wanted Pimp on that song.
Just a week ago.
Yeah, and so Pimp was like, cool. Pimp had just bought a house in Mableton, Georgia. He just had a new full studio built in. So he's like, yo, come on down to Atlanta, come to the crib, we'll knock the song out. You know what I'm saying? Jay was like, I'm not leaving New York right now. I'm just not leaving New York. They was like, well, shit, I ain't leaving the South, so I guess we ain't gonna do it. And just whatever. It just never happened.
Right.
And then, but it came back around through Chaka Zulu, who's always been a good friend of ours.
Shout to Shot.
We met Chaka Zulu as, he was basically, when we won our first promo run, he was the runner for Atlanta. So he was the guy from BMI that picked us up and drove us around to all the in-stores and shit like that. And we had to go do radio and stuff. That's how we met Chris, Ludacris, because he was Chris Lover back then. I met Lil Jon and them when they were doing black market radio. But Chaka was one of those dudes that just had such an interesting life, right? Like the more we talked to him and the more we asked him and the more he started coming out, like, wait a minute, so Tupac and Grand Puba are your cousins. Like, how are these niggas? Like, how are these nniggas even kids? Yeah, you know. And then and we got to know him personally. I got to know his family. You know, lifelong revolutionaries fighting, and he's always been one of those peoples, which makes it's no surprise that he and Clarence Avant had such a close relationship, because he was always one of those people that wanted to connect dots, just wanted to connect dots, and that was the thing. He really wanted to see that record happen, and so he was like, I know Chad, I know Bun. I'm gonna reach out to him, and so he gave Hov my number, and Hov called me, and it was blocked though. Wow. And he was like, I'm like, who is this? He's like, this is Jay-Z. I'm playing on my phone. And then the phone rang again. I'm like, some nigga playing on my phone, and I said, man, who is this? He's like, yo, family, you know, because Hov got a very, I don't do a good Hov impression, but he got a very, very, very specific and unique voice. You know what I'm saying? It's almost regionless. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when I heard that little, I don't want to say squeak because I don't want the man to feel, but there's a little pitch change that happens with inflection with Hov. Right. And I was like, hey, this really is this nigga Jay-Z. And Pimp was still a little salty from the last time. Pimp like, what do he want? You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, we got, you know, he said he got a record. He want. I ain't going to New York, so tell him I ain't going to New York. Like, they were like, nah, they're gonna send us the record, you know, but I went to New York. I was like, I want to go to New York. And I went to New York and I walked in Rockefeller. And it was funny because the office was full of the forces. They had just got their full allotment of Rockefeller Air Force Ones. They were like, you want some shoes? I was like, I don't wear that shit. You know, right. I didn't wear them like that. We were very gangster night Cortez at the time. So just the idea of wearing another shoe was not even an option. And to wear what to me was a New York shoe just wasn't gonna work. We wanted to be Southern in every form and fashion of presenting ourselves to people. So I just turned it down on general principle. Sneaker probably worth a couple $1,000. But yeah, I mean, you know, we rode around, we had lunch, we went to the studio, we knocked the record out, and then it took a couple months to convince Pimp to do the record. He was dead set against doing the record.
Now, is it because of the experience prior to that, or
it had nothing. It had nothing.
His love for Tupac, was it?
It was part of that. Now that was an issue.
Right.
That was an issue. There would be things that would come up in conversation. We'd have meetings and sit downs, and we'd have to come to the conclusion of something. And he would look. He had a picture. Every house he lived in, he had a picture of Pac on the wall, and he would look up at Pac, and he'd be like, "Man, what are you doing?" I'm asking Pac what he would do. You know, because that's the level of
reverence
that he had for Pac, but also in his mind, that was how he wanted to be seen, as a man that stood on something. You know what I'm saying? So if we got to sacrifice fame for integrity, we gonna do that. And we had to really convince him that this record would not affect us. If anything, more people would know who we were. And then, like you said, once they did the research, now they really get a sense of who we are, and they have an opportunity to decide whether or not they want to fuck with us or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, well, all right, I'm going to do the motherfucker, but I ain't doing but 8 bars. And it's literally 8 of the most classic bars in hip-hop history. Right. I argue it's the most quoted 8 bars in hip-hop history. Maybe, the only thing quoted more than that is probably engine. No, but no. You know, that's only 4 bars. But it was pulling teeth. It was pulling teeth to convince him, because I could see, what was gonna happen. Hov was the biggest thing since sliced bread at the time. And, you know, cause this is coming off a Hard Knock Life and all that type of shit. Yeah. So I'm like, niggas finna see us. That was my whole thing. I was ready for niggas to see us. You know, because where we were, it was very easy for us to be seen. You know, we left very big imprints in the ground when we stomped through the South. Right. But like you say, when people get further, it's just about radius, right? The further you get away from where the radar pulses, the signal becomes weaker.
How did you explain to Jay-Z Pimp C's disposition?
I didn't have to. Jay-Z pretty much knew who he was dealing with the whole time. But it wasn't an issue. I'm not saying it like that. It wasn't an issue because that meant anything Pimp did was never a surprise to him. You know what I'm saying? And every time he would see Pimp, it was just, it's the sheer audacity of the type of shit that Pimp would do that would be excused, the way he could say things and do things. Because it was never for cap or for clout or whatever. I don't even know what we called it back then. You know, it was no high capping. He was just certain things he had to be honest to a fault. You know what I'm saying? If he offended you, he was very clear. I'm sorry about how you felt about what I said.
I'm sorry.
But I meant what I said. Right. I'm sorry if what I said offended you. But I meant what I said, and I'm standing on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it all ended up working out, man. Like, you know, we ended up creating one of the greatest records, arguably in hip hop history.
These are the facts.
It's my international calling card. I've never been in a club on the planet where that record doesn't come on and mean in that room what it means in every other room. But every other record I have, you either know it or you don't. You might like it, you might love it or whatever. But Big Pimpin', I don't care where you play it, what room, the reaction is the same. It means what it means to every single person that hears it. And that's just not something you get to do a lot.
Now, did your popularity and status change after that record?
We got booked more in areas that we weren't getting booked. Wow. So, like, we would typically stop around Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? That would be, for me, that would be my Mason-Dixon line for the most part. And then Chicago. Illinois, Philadelphia. You know, once we got to DC, it was game over because DC niggas and South niggas, they just moved. Or they haven't come back home yet. Right. But they carry no cultural identity to anything else on the East Coast. Right. Like musically. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of Timberlands in DC. You know what I'm saying? In that sense, you get what I'm saying. Right.
What was the energy like with the video shoot?
Video shoot was different because we never got, the video shoot was meant to be shot in Trinidad, Tobago during Carnival. Yeah. And it was, but Pimp never got on the plane.
Shout out to all the Trinis.
He didn't get on the plane. Well, one, he was scared to fly. Flying internationally was a big problem for him, but he also had another situation at the time in Miami. He was preoccupied with some friends in Miami, friends that were actually expected to be at the video as well. So it's like, well, where's Pimp C and where's
Gloria Velez?
Yeah, where are these people at? You know, they don't know where Pimp is and they don't know where she is and they don't know that they're together. Yeah. So they never got on the plane. So the majority of Big Pimpin' is in Trinidad and Tobago. It doesn't come to Miami literally in the video until Pimp gets incorporated into the video. Right. That's all pickup shots that we had to do. And so, and then here's the other thing, right? So I'm a very lo-fi guy, right? I wore a bunch of jewelry for a very minimum time. I was a solo artist. I needed to be looking a certain way. So I've never really been that kind of dude. You know what I'm saying? I didn't show up with a bunch of designer shit. I'm like, where's the free Rockaware shit? I'm wearing that shit. Give me the free shit.
They're like, you passed on it before, nah.
Yeah, exactly. And Pimp shows up in a new convertible 600, right? That nobody has yet. He's one of the first people to have it. He pulls up with Gloria, you know, and they're looking at him, and they're looking at me, and they're looking at him. And Pimp's like, Bumpy, don't spend this money on this dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So because the whole time I'm assuming they think I'm broke, right? I'm assuming they're thinking I'm whatever it is. And then they see Pimp pull up, like Pimp got cars and he pulling the mink coat out the back and he hopping out with her. And they're like, Like, where's your shit? Like, where's your shit? Where's your shit if you niggas got money? And Pimp could see it in their face. Hey, that nigga don't do that shit with his money. He don't fuck off like that. Yeah. That's my thing. Right. And then they came out the dressing room in the mink coats on the beach in the car, and Hov was like, your brother's a star. And every time he'd ever see Pimp, we were ever together, and he would see Pimp was doing something so crazy and so audacious, and everybody was loving it, and then Hov would just be like, this nigga's a star. Like, this nigga's really, really a star. Right. It was evident. You couldn't dim it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You couldn't dim it. He's not even here anymore. And I would argue Pimp C's presence and his memory and his impact resonates deeper today than it ever has. There's very few artists right now that want to look a certain way that can do that without incorporating something that Pimp C did before.
It's ironic that song ended up, as much as he kind of pushed against it, the video and the song ended up being like an anthem for him worldwide because it's saying his name in the hook. Like, it's like the international Pimpin' anthem.
But, UGK was Pimp's baby, and he had put his heart and soul into it. And he didn't want to do all of that to get to this point and do one song with somebody and have his legacy perverted. That was the way he looked at it. I would rather not do this record if doing this record means that I have to compromise some part of myself to fuck with people that like this record. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order to increase my fan base, do I have to make more shit like this? Because I don't make shit like this. Right. And I don't want to make shit like this. Funny story, man, when we got ready to do the next album, the label, Jive, was like, let's do a Big Pimpin' 2. Right? Let's buy a Jay-Z. Right? Let's buy a Jay-Z verse. Let's buy a beat from Timbaland. Let's get a video from Hype, and let's do it again, boys. And I was like, if I don't do a song with Jay-Z and Timbaland, do I still get a Hype Williams video? He was like, well, why? And it was never no. It was like, why wouldn't you want that? Why wouldn't you want to do another big record? What, besides being 2.5 million in the hole from the first song we record?
God damn.
I mean,
2.5 million.
Well, they're gonna buy a verse from Jay-Z.
Yeah.
They're gonna buy a beat from Timbaland, and they're gonna buy a video from Hype Williams.
Like swap. Nothing. It wasn't like, our rappers swap it out. Yo, I'll do a verse on your project. You do a verse on my project.
I got paid to be on Big Pimpin'. We didn't have that relationship, and to be honest, I don't think Pimp would have accepted a Jay-Z verse to be of equal value to him. So let's just break this bread and be done with it.
Right.
And to be honest, Pimp and Jay didn't really have a relationship in that sense. There was a lot of mutual respect, but Hov and I were always closer. Right. You know what I'm saying? I ended up getting a feature. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But no, it was really just about, like, we worked very hard to get where we are. We're successful now for being purely who we have always said we were, Riding Dirty. Most critically acclaimed album we ever released, gold album, not one music video. You know what I'm saying? And to get to that point and to possibly, in his mind, throw it all away, because this dude want to pay you some money to do a verse on a beat that you would never rap to, you know what I'm saying? It just seemed like a lot. And it took a lot to kind of bring him back around to the idea of being a part of it, to the point where I just like reverse psychology. Like, fuck it, don't do it then, fuck it. Like, don't even worry about it. Fuck it. We ain't even gonna do it. I'm just telling me we ain't gonna do it. You don't want to do it. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? All right, Pee Wee. Fuck it. I'm gonna do it, man. That was my nickname with Pimp.
Oh wow.
Was Pee Wee. It was only two people in the world that called me Pee Wee. It's Pimp and my other homie Wee. Those are the only people that in the world that call me Pee Wee.
Bon, was there ever a point where you and Pimp were just in a room, just y'all two, and he looked at you like, yeah, I'm happy we did it?
Every time. Yeah. That's one thing. There was full deferment, right? Pimp would produce the beat. We decide on what it was going to be. He write him, I write me.
No, I mean the Big Pimpin'. Was there a point where he's like, all right, yeah, I'm happy we did that song specifically?
No, not in that sense. I mean, he was glad it worked out, but Big Pimpin' was not like in his top 10 UGK songs. Like,
he didn't even want to do another one.
No, I didn't. It never even got to, I'll be honest, that conversation never even got to Pimp.
Oh, damn.
I rejected it on the notion, on the principle of the idea that the only reason you would be willing to make that type of financial investment in me would be if I brought these people along. I helped make that record what it is too. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't just show up like a car and park. Nigga, I'm active in this. You know what I'm saying? I spit a pretty nice verse on that song. I feel like
nigga, it's still,
you know what I'm saying? I feel like
coming straight about the black bar.
you know, I left a stain. I left a stain. So
step back, keep my scenario. My bad, that's my scenario.
but it was really like it was the best of everything that hip hop represented.
Yo, for us in New York, let me just speak for everybody in New York. We loved that record.
Word.
To this day.
There's nothing New York about it.
First of all, I was never used to
loved.
hear somebody from the South speak so clear. Like the way you deliver and the way you enunciate every word, it's like, yo, it's a punch. Boom, boom, every time.
Yeah.
So when I first heard it, I'm like,
I was like, yo, who is it
from
nice.
Houston.
This was supposed to be a party record. And it is a party record. It's one of the biggest party records ever made. But I'm not giving a fuck about the party. I don't give a fuck about it.
And that's what we love.
I'm finna rap against Jay-Z.
These motherfuckers know we can't remove
I came to rap.
We're gonna pull it out over little shit.
You know what I'm saying? I'm coming in. I'm aggressive.
It won't be a little hit.
I'm aggressive, and I don't know. I don't think he expected. He knew I was nice, but I don't think he expected me to come with that. This was supposed to be just about girls and that type of shit, and it is. In essence, that's what it is.
And it was a long.
But I'm gonna talk about this shit a little bit different than the average girl strip club shake your ass type of record. I'm on a record with Jay-Z. People that hold rap at a high quality are going to hear this record. This how they need to hear me rapping with Jay-Z. Now, if he do something different, that's on him. He got a million examples of how nice he is to the people that listen to him. I need the people that listen to him to know I'm nice.
He still felt compelled to add a fourth verse.
That's not what that is.
It's not a short version and a long version.
That's not what that is. That's publishing. That's publishing. That's ownership. We owned more of the record because I did the hook and we had 2 verses. Him adding the other verse evens it out.
Holy shit. Wow. Go read the book, you illiterate son of a bitch. Fuck, man.
It just evens it out. Because that was the thing. Like Jive was like, this is your record. Like, this is your record. You guys own more of this record. Like, in principle, we didn't own any of it because he bought it all out. He paid all out. He didn't want no publishing. We didn't own our publishing anyway. So what the fuck we want publishing on a record that we not gonna get paid for any fucking way? We had sold our publishing when we signed for $50,000. That's a whole other other thing. Yes, that's a whole other thing. So for us, we didn't give a fuck about no back end public. We never gotten a royalty check. I've never gotten a royalty check from Jive Records to this day. I'm technically still $2.5 million in the hole, maybe 3.
Wow. Holy shit.
But I'm a legacy act, so in 2.5 years, my slate gets clean.
You got 7 years, 7 years
But
almost.
they never got
But
money.
it would be now, but we took money after a certain point. We took more money from the label after a certain point. So we were still actively operating under the license with the record company. This legacy clause typically exists for people who no longer make music, for rights to revert. But because we were still actively taking money, it put like a year thing on it. Because we took money, I think, because it was everybody that before 2000, right? We were recorded before 2000, but we were still actively recording with the company till 2007. Damn. That was the last time we got a check. So for us, there's a 7-year window on top of it. So I think I still got to go to like 26 or 27. So and that's also when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame eligibility comes up too.
Ah, nice.
Oh, dope.
Nice, yeah.
I'm hoping that's a great year for Rights Reverting is a good year. Just being nominated. Induction, I'm not sure, but just being nominated.
Congratulations ahead of time.
Thank you.
Is that why y'all dropped the double album in 07?
No, we dropped the double album because, again, this was Pimp coming home from prison, and we just put together so much music because we hadn't recorded together in almost 5 years.
Gotcha.
So we just went in and just recorded, and the more we did, the better it started to sound, and it became more and more cohesive. And it was just like, man, we got to, all this shit got to go on it. Like, we got to put a lot of this shit on the album, man. And we wanted to give people a lot of music from UGK because they had been waiting for a long time to hear music from UGK. So we just tried to hit them over the head with as much of that shit as we could give them. And that album debuted #1 on the Billboard 200.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a big album.
And he passed right after.
International players anthem and all that. They got a record with Talib Kweli on there.
What was to achieve such a level of success. Finally, what? Number one, everybody's pop the champagne. Look, you did it, getting all these cheers. And then to experience that right after.
It made it sweeter, quite frankly, because he had gotten the admiration that his talent deserved.
He got his flowers.
Yes, again, having created, because again, this is all Pimp. Like the direction, like Pimp is producing the majority of the music. If he's not producing it, he's co-producing it with people. He's mixing every record. He's mastering everything. I come in, lay my verse, I bounce. You know what I'm saying? He lives and breathes all of that shit. And we didn't get like full control of how our music was presented until Riding Dirty. When samples didn't clear contractually, they didn't even have to contact us. In our contract, they had the right to reproduce our music if the sample we presented didn't clear. So when I got the final version of my album, there were 3 songs I had never heard in my life.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And there was nothing we could do to that. 1-900 Bun B. I think there's a version of Tell Me Something Good that we didn't produce. And there's another record, but I don't really listen to those records. They don't mean to me what they mean to everybody else because they never heard the real version of those albums. Super Tight was supposed to be a double album. Pimp wanted to do a double album where one album was him on some Pimp shit, which was going to be centered around music sample from the soundtrack of the Mac. My album was going to be about some gangster street shit with most of the cultural cues coming from Scarface. Because that was how we looked at ourselves, you know what I'm saying? That's why there was never any real overlap with me and Pimp. Me and Pimp ain't dress alike. We ain't had the same haircuts. We didn't like the same type of women. We didn't hang with the same type of dudes. None of that shit. But it was us though. It was always us because you didn't have to put me and Pimp in the studio and we come out with an album. Period. We don't need nobody else. We chose to have niggas around us. But Pimp was a different type of dude into different shit that I wasn't into.
Well, being so
different.
We didn't even different. What made you guys come together in the first place?
Nobody wanted what we wanted more than we did. We were part of a collective of dudes that all swore they wanted to do this. And one by one, everybody dropped off. Everybody swore this was their dream. And we woke up one day and it was literally me, Pimp, and Bird, the only niggas that still believe in making music. And that's what we did.
It was 4 y'all at one point, right?
Nah, it was 4 niggas in a picture.
Oh, okay.
It was 4 niggas in a picture. No disrespect to Ron Forrest, because he was the homie, but he wasn't a group member.
Right.
There was another group member, but he chose to go to college, but he was still an extension of the group, and that's Big Mitch. Because Big Mitch is actually the dude that came up with the name Underground Kings. But nah, I mean, we just realized that nobody was in this like this but us. And so from that point on, regardless of who I had around me or who we had around him, it was us. Them niggas ain't have no say-so in what went on between me and him. You know what I'm saying? I protect him from my people. He protect me from his people. Not in the sense of doing shit, but no, man, that ain't how Bun B get down. You know what I'm saying? And I'd have to be like, man, that ain't what Pimp, shit like that. So we knew that only we cared about what we were doing in that way. I ain't had nobody I could go to and talk to about my record contract is fucked up and I gotta get revisions and all this type of shit and try to, reclaim my publishing. What the fuck them niggas know about? They don't know nothing about that shit. So it don't make no sense to even go to niggas like that, because them niggas think you living the dream. Now we was honest about, hey, we ain't making no money, nigga, but you can't really get into the nuance of it because niggas wouldn't understand anyway. And so we just, we knew for good or bad that we were down with each other to get where we were going from A to B. Now, he's got ideas of how he wants to go and I got ideas about how I want to go. But we know where we going and we going. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we just we'll figure it out and just get in the car. We'll figure it out on the way. Right. You know what I'm saying? Literally.
Now, why sign that contract? You said you got 50,000. They took your publishing.
Yep.
Why sign that contract?
Again, you think that when you sign a record deal, right? Because I'm young. I'm about to turn 19. Pimp's 18. and you don't know the horror stories, right, about the industry. You don't know, like, how, quite frankly, how sneaky and devilish and underhanded it is.
Right.
We signed to Jive Records, and it was the biggest moment of our life. We were two dudes from Port Arthur, Texas, the town with 50,000 people, and here we are in New York City at Jive Records, the home of Too Short, Houdini, you know what I'm saying? Tribe Called Quest, and all our dreams is finna come true. We don't understand. No, because we don't understand that it's a negotiation, right? We think you signed we don't know that, because I'd never signed a contract to anything. I'd never had any type of extended obligation to anything at that point.
Right.
I just assumed everything that I needed in the contract was going to be in the contract. Right. We had a lawyer. The lawyer, you pay the lawyer does what they're supposed to do, and everybody gets a good deal. And I have never seen, a more horribly constructed contract than my contract. Like, my contract had a clause that when one of us died, the other one could go get another nigga and bring him in and keep the group going, but at a 3-point reduction.
That's crazy.
If a nigga died, to go to jail. And so when he got locked up, they asked me if I wanted to exercise the clause.
Wow.
That's wicked.
With a 3-point reduction.
Yeah.
Oh, the
at a
name of
reduced
the
rate.
label is Jive.
Good job, Chuck.
No offense to y'all, but I always wondered about that. I know what Jive mean. Like, why they name the record company Jive?
When we signed the contract, we went out, we sat in the room, we signed the contract, and we was trying to keep it cool. And we went out in the hallway and we was like, yes, nigga, we made it. And then here comes KRS-One down the hallway. Chris Parker,
Jesus.
one of the greatest niggas ever.
Shout out
to be
to
a part of
KRS-One.
this culture, not just an MC, to be a part of this culture, a representative of this culture. Very few people have sacrificed, and I want this to be said. Very few people have sacrificed more than he has for the culture. Mm-hmm. Let's just make that clear. Especially in this 50th year, I want to make that clear. And we see him, and we're like, yo, KRS-One, what's up? We UGK, we came up here to sign. Y'all signed yet? Like, yeah, we just signed just now. Fuck. Good luck, my brother. Good luck, my brother, and walked off.
Damn.
Wow.
And we went from thinking we just had the greatest moment of our life.
This nigga rained on your whole parade.
But it was
real though.
It was a reality check that we needed.
Mm-hmm. Right.
God knows how long we would have been operating under ignorance had he not
Right then
and there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I thank you for that.
What was your immediate reaction to him doing that? Susie
Like,
goes,
what have we done? Like, how much of this do we not even really understand?
Right.
Like, why are we even here
Now you start questioning
with these niggas, right? Is it the game or is it just these niggas, right?
Right.
Nah, it's par for the course.
Mm-hmm.
It's par for the course, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know how many artists sat in that chair and gave the same story?
Most.
Yeah, all of them.
Legends. People that we'll remember for the next 100 years. Same thing. But
everybody's
at the time, it's the opportunity.
We didn't think people were getting rich off hip hop. I didn't think that, right? I saw people getting cars and jewelry, but I knew people were successful, but I didn't know, I couldn't really gauge if niggas was millionaires or anything like that. But I could tell that from most of the people that I saw, they came from projects and ghettos and shit like that. They had nice shit now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Give me some of that.
Give me some nice shit.
Give me some of this nice
Right.
shit. You know? So that's what I figured. You make the music, you're good enough to make a record company want to sign you, the gates open.
What about shows? Did they have any rights to your shows when you did perform?
No,
This
360s
is
didn't
before the
exist back
360.
then. 360s didn't exist.
Before we
then.
shit all over Jive, even I have no.
I'm not sure.
care.
This is
What
not
label?
but this is not a
label?
Jive
What
thing.
label?
This is an industry thing. I am
No,
one of
it was
hundreds.
every one of them.
I am
Every
one
one
of
of them.
hundreds, if not thousands, of stories.
Every one of them.
Everyone. I don't know one story that someone's like, they did it right. They took care of, like, it's.
No. There was.
I have one.
There's a couple.
I have one.
People who walked into the
I
situation.
personally had a situation.
expecting there was going to be some shit.
No, you can
And
name
we
one
had-
of the
we-
majors
we have
that,
to
like, people were like, they're absolutely on point from back then.
One person came in here and said, I got a fair deal. And I've never had a problem. Loon.
Yeah.
Who?
Loon.
Loon?
That was
Oh.
Bad Boy.
And just to be clear, that situation you got with the publishing, that's the same thing. I know later he fixed it, but that's what Puff gave Big for his publishing was $50,000.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But what did it take to fix it?
It's not even about fixing it. It's about the realization that you knew the whole time you was fucking over me. You knew you were fucking over me. I trusted you in this. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where you went wrong.
Absolutely.
The goal of the label is always to make the best deal possible for themselves.
But they play on the fact that you're
young.
coming from nothing.
It was
They know
inherent.
you're not going to do your homework.
Everyone. That's everyone in all aspects of life in any business you're in. If you don't know and I know, it's not my job to educate you before you get here.
No,
It's
but
not.
it's not
At the
just
same
that.
time- no,
It's
no.
not just that. Hold on.
Hold on, 'cause this nigga always fucking talking crazy to me, man. Hold on a second. Nah, go.
No, but it's the dream. You're not going
Exactly.
in there with a business sense. You're going in there with, this is my dream.
You need to wake the fuck
You dig what I'm saying? Like,
But you're saying that now, Mecca, but you're 17, 18 years old. You may have kids. You may have a mom that's sick. You may have a dad that's strung out on crack. It could be all kind of shit going on in your life. You walk into a record label.
Does the health insurance
it's
care about
still
that?
the dream,
Does your
bro.
car loan?
There's
care about
You don't
nothing.
even have all of that at that
There
age.
is nothing
Anything you
on the
sign in life.
outside that tells you being a successful recording artist isn't going to benefit you. There's nothing that coming into this game that tells you that. Half the niggas would not go further if you know. And I'm gonna tell you before you sign this, it's not gonna be what you think it is, right? Nobody's telling people that. People's like, you just need to know what you're getting yourself into, right? So the opportunity has always been there. You just need to know what you're getting yourself into.
Educate yourself.
I didn't care to know. That's why I got fucked over. Plain and simple. And the more I learned, the less likely I was to get fucked over. Now at this point, if I get fucked over, that's on me. You know what I'm saying? That's on me. But back then, I just thought that shit came with it.
And with the amount of information that's out, if you get fucked over today, again.
Yeah, that's on you.
Because you could go so far by yourself before they even come into the equation. You know what I'm saying?
If
and
you
by
got
then,
if you got the patience. If
and
you
by
got the
then,
patience.
you should have learned your worth and your value, and you should be able to bring that to the negotiating table.
But you have to be willing to do the unsexy job for that. Most of them aren't. That's the issue. They don't want to do the unsexy job, and that's the education part. That's the unsexy
well,
part.
there isn't supposed to be an unsexy part of the entertainment industry.
That you can't tell them.
It's not. There's not supposed to be that.
Yeah,
Because
but
where
there
do you
was-
see it? How would you know?
Yeah,
when
they
you
don't-
go in Popeyes, you see niggas frying. You know that's a hard job.
Right.
You can see that. You can't
Right.
see that in the entertainment industry.
Then
Now,
now you know.
Well, people
if you
talk
want to
now,
know,
though. Back
if you
then,
want to
people's
know,
pride was
there's
big.
still clueless motherfuckers that'll sign right now.
Yep.
Right now, with
Give away
every
their
bit of
pinky
information
finger.
you have, with every example, I don't give a fuck. Let me sign, give me my check, and let me figure out how to
It's
make this
the
shit work.
dream.
I'll figure this shit out.
I
It's the dream.
don't give a fuck. 5 words that will have that ass hemmed up for the next 20 years. And that's how you felt when you walked in the door. And here come the repercussions.
I'm not
of
saying it
giving a
sound.
fuck.
I'm
No,
not
I
saying it
get you.
sound. I'm just saying that that's what happened.
No, I get you.
That's what happened.
I agree.
There's always going to be somebody that can't go back. I don't give a fuck. I can't go back. Whatever they want to give me, I'm going to take it. I'm going to make what I can make out of it. Because I can't go back.
That's a fact.
I can't go back in that house. I can't go back in that house.
The dream.
I know so many people, like, I can't go back in that
I'm
house.
gonna try to figure
I
this
gotta
shit out.
go.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
And that's
I don't care if it's bad. That's worse.
That's
I
operating.
can handle
Listen.
bad.
Operating
Because
from
that's
a place
worse.
of
Right.
desperation, operating from a place of
That's-
desperation with no leverage.
Yeah, that's pretty much
How
it.
did you think
make
this
your own
was
decisions.
gonna go? Like,
The only other option is to
How did
commit
you
to
think?
drowning in the water.
yeah,
I'm gonna fight to stay above water
Yeah.
because the only other option is drowning.
but I got
listen.
you.
Again, as
Listen.
bad, because that's why I'm saying as bad as it is, people will sign up for a bad situation because the alternative is worse. Right? At least with this, there's a chance
Yeah, no.
to possibly
totally.
make something.
Totally.
Even if the record deal is fucked up, right? I can still
Yeah.
do some shows. I can still sell some merch.
Merch,
Even
yeah.
if it's a 70-30 or whatever, 360 deal, it's better than
Look,
that.
signing was the success. And
I
for
can't,
some people,
I
signing
can't sleep
was
in
the
that house.
success.
I can't sleep in that house anymore and keep my sanity. If I stay in there any longer, I'm going to become bad. I'm gonna be a bad person, right? I'm gonna react terribly. I have to get out of this environment. You know what I'm saying? I have to. It's just that simple. That's why people are home. That's why so many young people are homeless. I can't go back to that house. I'm getting beaten. I'm getting touched. My mom keep getting her ass cooked, and I can't do whooped. I keep trying to fight him. She won't let me. I can't live here. I can't keep my sanity. I have to go. I don't give a fuck what's out there. I got to turn my back on this.
It's not worse than what's in here.
It can't be. In their mind, it can't be. Yo, bro, I wouldn't sign this. So what? Stay here? Swap with me. If it ain't that bad, swap me. You come live here, and I'll go live in your house. I feel you, fam. Go inside. Do what you got to do. You know, and look, this world feeds on desperation.
Factory settings.
This world feeds on the desperation of people. People walk through this world hoping they meet somebody that got nowhere else to go.
You ever walked into
Pimp's been standing in front of bus stations for decades, right? Waiting to catch him green as fuck off the bus.
Stray. Right. Yep.
Why did they get on the bus? Because they can't go back.
You ever walk into a strip club that's empty?
For lunch?
The day shift is empty.
Everybody in there.
What?
Everybody
The
in
B
there.
team.
It's operating under different circumstances. You understand what I'm saying? It's tough.
On a
man.
Monday night, Monday afternoon.
We're going to take a 5-minute break. Well, I got to say, legend in the game. I contacted you about something. Did you give it any thought?
I have, and the reason why I couldn't move on is because I just don't have the time to dedicate to it. That's the problem.
Because you still love this shit.
Yeah, and then like I got the burgers, but I'm still active doing the music, and I don't want to do nothing halfway.
Right.
That's the problem. But give me a year. I mean, I ain't saying no. I just can't. I ain't saying no. I just can't say yes today.
Don't worry. Nobody knows what we talking about. So we got time. We got time.
Hopefully in a year this all makes sense.
Now with the burgers, how did you come up with that whole thing?
I didn't come up with nothing. It was brought to me. The dudes came to me. They had the burger. They wanted a little help with the burger in terms of getting name around it. But I didn't want to just put my name on something that I didn't believe in. But when I tried it, I was like, this is a badass burger. I know it's a good burger, but for it to be what I would want it to be, I'd have to sacrifice a lot. So we didn't do a lot of shows. There was a lot of things we didn't do in order to make that work. And the sacrifice was worth it. Everything we did, I think it was worth it because it's all paying off in spades now. You know, everybody's really happy with the product. We're happy with the direction of the brand. And not only is it a successful company with a great product, but it's also inspirational to people. I tell niggas all the time, find your burger. Like, find your burger. Like, you building up all this cultural equity and all of this connectivity with people, and we selling everybody else shit. Sell your shit.
Everybody wants that.
Security.
Yeah, sell your shit. You know?
Wow.
That could sum up your whole career.
Word.
Everybody loves the product, turned around.
And that's why I sell this burger like I've been selling my music. You know, I know the quality can stay consistent, and as long as I'm comfortable with that, I can play with everything else. We just have fun with that. But the burger's the burger. So that's gonna do what it's gonna do. I just put a little oomph on it for the marketing and promotion and all of that. But all of that's just designed to get, not to bluff you into liking the burger, it's just to convince you to give it a try.
Right.
You're gonna love it, I just need you to try it.
Now we always talk about how the contracts, signings, and those horror tales. What have you learned since then to shift things around and make it more successful for you?
You're just not supposed to be doing nothing you don't know everything about. That's just it. I'm very lucky that the partners I have in this company know a lot about it, but there's still things that I have to learn about. I'm constantly trying to learn more things about it. And I could already see where there were things within this first year of this company. We're moving on 3 years now. But there's things I could see within the first year of this company that would have moved different had I took time to educate myself a little bit more. I relied on their knowledge about a lot of things because I had a specific role in the company. But now I want to be able to play every part of this company because I want to do what we've done collectively with this company separately, individually with other companies. So I need to know everything that every part that everybody's playing so that I don't need necessarily all those people to play those parts to move forward.
Right. Trill Statik 3.
Yes.
Trill Statik 3 is out right now.
Right now.
And y'all brothers collaborated. This ain't the first time.
It's the third time.
The third time. And it ain't gonna be the last time.
We got albums worth of music before Trill Static too. Like me and them been working forever, and it's just we both work at similar speeds because a lot of artists and producers don't necessarily do that. So it's just when we come together, it's like, yo.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, Static.
Yeah.
I gotta apologize to you.
What happened?
Came to your show years ago.
Yeah.
And I had a horrible freestyle.
Really?
In my opinion.
I don't think it was that bad because I know the people that have came up and had horrible freestyles.
Okay, so I wasn't in the top 10.
You good.
All right, cool. I'm straight.
He said it wasn't that bad.
For me though, I walked out of here like,
bad at all.
I tried to kick something I wrote yesterday. Like, that did not work.
It's definitely on YouTube.
Oh, please take it down. Take it down. Do not look for the video, please.
But if you saw it, put it in the comments.
No.
You saw it, drop the link.
Tag me when you find it. Tag me. I ain't gonna repost. I just want to see that.
That's Bun B talking.
But I know how much you love hip hop. You come from a class, a group of guys that have been in this thing for a while, and you love the authentic sound. But your sound is like authentically New York. What made you collaborate with Bun?
Man, shout out to Term. He did a joint with Bun with DJ Premier back in like 2008. And we went and surprised Bun on his birthday in Houston, the first time we ever met him. And from there on, it's just been like, this dude, like growing up, I never thought that cats in the South had like that kind of love for hip hop. This dude watches everything going on in all hip hop. It doesn't matter if it's Soulja Boy or Immortal Technique. He watches everything. And he always taps in with the right people that he wants to fuck with.
I don't know when I'm gonna have to rap against these niggas, so I need to know everything about all these niggas. You ain't supposed to be rapping against niggas you don't really understand.
Yeah, right.
That's why niggas get features for people and get mad when they don't get what they thought they was gonna get, because you don't really know who you fucking with. You really don't understand who you fucking with and how they speak on certain shit, separately or collectively. You know what I'm saying? So you see niggas like, yo, I paid that nigga 50 grand, he ain't even say this or that. Yeah, that's because he don't always say this and you don't know that nigga.
Right.
You catch a nigga on just a night, like I saw some niggas, they pulled up and on a rapper and gave him like 100 something bands, you know what I'm saying? And got a verse. And luckily they got what they was expecting. But a lot of times they exchanging a lot of cash and they think they're gonna get this. And you know, a lot of these dudes, they don't write rhymes on the spot. You trying to catch a nigga get a verse after the show before you gotta leave on the plane, you gonna get what you get. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you know, these are, you know, your money's not gonna guarantee you entry into this shit. I've seen a lot of people try to buy their way into the game.
They think so, though.
That shit don't work. I've turned down more money than I've taken for features. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, if you spending money with me, ain't gonna get you nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because what, they gonna get it in the mix, they gonna play my verse. And they gonna play your verse.
There's a fine line. You gotta invest in yourself and your career, but also not waste money trying to buy. You can't buy.
It's no shortcut.
Like, you can't buy being credible. It's not possible. So
I don't think it's a credibility. Well, in some cases.
They're paying for access, right? They're paying for the notion that they get access to your base. But your base don't give a fuck about them. That's not what, I tell people all the time, if I wanted a verse from Drake, I could get a verse from Drake. That's not a problem.
You got it.
Right? But I'm saying, like right now, if I wanted a verse from Drake, I could probably get a verse from Drake. But is that what Drake fans are looking for? Not really. Is that what my fans?
You don't know that until you try
it. Not really. Yeah, I'm not saying they won't accept it, but they're not asking for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd have to find the right way to present it to his base, and that's not the way I generally present music.
Right.
So I'd be stepping out of my comfort zone and basically a space where my people already fuck with me, see me at, to try to move into another space, and that shit, it don't work like that because I'm not trying to go 2 steps forward to take 10 steps backwards.
Right.
I'm good.
Which is what Pimp C was talking about during the whole.
It's not worth the potential of it all going bad. People always see the potential good in things, but there's a lot that could go bad. And you can fuck up your own momentum trying to connect to somebody else's shit.
Right.
They might be on their way out.
I gotta shout y'all brothers out real quick for, you know, I went to the event the other night. It was dope. Trill Burgers was flowing throughout the building. You know, Bun was in the corner in the chair chilling with his pen and his pad, AirPods on, writing a verse.
16
Static.
verses he wrote.
Right,
16.
exactly. Then he was going and recording in the booth over there in a restaurant-based place where it's mad people, it's noise, all type
Hidden
of shit.
Tiger, pull up.
Statik over there live streaming. He's over there recording. I'm trying to talk to him. Like, yo, hold on. He's working. So I just want to applaud y'all brothers for y'all consistent work ethic. Like, regardless of the circumstances that y'all around, that's a big part of the culture.
How many rappers pulled up to drop?
25.
20.
Yeah, Benny was there.
I rapped against every one of them. Every nigga that came in that room had to rap with me, right? I had to rap with every nigga that came in the room.
When you doing it again?
If there was a model to this that was like extremely profitable, we'd be doing these bitches one a week. I do this once a week.
Special when
we run out of rappers before we run out of work ethic, my nigga.
I feel like people will pay for what I seen the other night.
That's
from what me and Peter seen the other night. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah, I
on
think people
Bandcamp,
pay
so
for
go
it.
support
Yeah,
it.
go pay. You can pay for the end product. If you pay, here's the thing: if you pay for the end product, you're automatically supporting the next one.
Yeah, and you're part of it.
So
now.
you actually, while you don't get to pay to make this one happen, buying this one affords you the opportunity to help pay for making the next one happen. So we thank you in advance, my nigga.
Facts.
No. I got one question. Now, I recently got back into making music. Shout out to Wyclef. He gave me a Fuji's plaque and then just been talking to me every day.
Humble brag, go ahead.
My man JFK said a bunch of my beats. He didn't even rap on none of them.
It's
not
well,
so
hold on.
Oh,
Hold on.
shit.
Not
Hold
so
on.
humble, bro.
Depending on the last phone
Hold
he
on.
signed, did with you, do you want him on your beat?
When you take a shot from the legend, you gotta eat it.
I apologize.
You gotta eat it. Come on.
That's not the energy. That's not the energy.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll see you on that
Anytime to come
verse.
redeem
I'll see you on that
yourself.
verse.
Every Thursday night, Shade 45, come redeem yourself.
I'm expecting to
I
get
bet.
dissed on his next track.
I will.
You know,
I got
like with Method Man that I was playing for months. That was my shit.
Double barrel.
That was my shit.
Good looking. Good looking. See? It's not that.
It balances out. It balances
All right.
out.
Now, I've been wanting to take a stand against the DSPs because I know they're raping every artist. From Spotify, Apple Music, you name it. They're not giving the just due to what these plays, what these streams.
I have the answer to it. This is the answer. Companies like Spotify should take that $10 or $12 you're paying and divide it among who you're listening to. But they don't do that.
No.
The major labels get they own majority of Spotify.
Right.
They don't divide evenly. So it's an unfair playing field. But if they did that, less people would be complaining. Because what if I have Spotify but I only listen to MECCA and Math? Y'all are gonna get most of the $9.99.
Right.
But it's not how it works.
All right. So how do you change it?
You know, you don't, because it's not in the hands of the artist. As I've been saying this whole time, it's in the hands of the consumer. It only stops when the consumers consider it a problem. Consumers don't have a problem with the streaming model because it offers them more money, more music for less money. So that works for them. They don't care about us, catching the short end of the stick. This shit would be way worse if it weren't for Taylor Swift. Most people don't know that. Apple Music instituted this program that whenever you sign on to Apple Music, you got 90 days of free music. Well, basically, people sign on to Apple Music every day. Like hundreds if not thousands of people sign on every day. Right. So that would have gone into perpetuity. There's always somebody that would have signed on to Apple Music that would listen to your shit within those 90 days, and they wouldn't have to pay you for that. That would have gone on forever. Right. Taylor Swift was like, I'm not, you can't have my music if that's how you paying. Like, you can't have my music if you're doing that. That model, that's not gonna work. Right. And they said, okay.
She had the leverage to change it.
Absolutely.
Now, within all the years that you've been involved in hip hop, have you ever seen a moment where artists were unified in changing something?
In terms of what?
In terms of policy, record labels, any type of injustice within the industry. Has there ever been a moment that someone came to you and tried to unify a bunch of artists to stand against something that did not serve us?
Yeah, but no one's going to be able to agree on the representation. Anytime you have a collective of people, one person has to stand up and be the face of it. And hip hop, they can't agree on who that is. There is no one person in hip hop that represents everything that hip hop encompasses. Or rap music, if you don't even get into hip hop, there's no one person that represents all of it, that can speak to all of it, that everybody would be like, yeah, he good, let him, you know what I'm saying? That we don't have that person. You look at every other collective agenda that people have presented in order to affect change in this company, in this country, and in this world. Typically, those people generally all agree on the same thing. We don't all agree on the same thing. Some people are absolutely good with how it's going right now because they benefit from it. It's only the people that generally don't benefit from it that have a problem with it. And it's just not enough people that don't agree with it in order for change to really happen. But even if every artist agreed on it, we still got to convince the people that's buying the music that they're wrong. How much music you gonna sell to niggas that you keep telling they don't know what they doing when they listen to music? Well, it's not gonna benefit you in the end anyway.
You're kind of telling them right now.
So, if you want to be in this game, if you want to be in the system, there are things you're gonna have to do. If you want to play in the NFL, there's rules you gotta adhere to. You know what I'm saying? You can make money, you just got to operate outside of the system. It take a little longer, you have to work harder, but it's possible. You know what I'm saying? The blueprint is there. There's a blueprint to being successful independently, but there's a mountain of sacrifice for a molehill of return.
Right. Didn't Jay-Z try it with Tidal though?
No, Tidal gives the best payout. It's
Right.
the highest
That doesn't
rating.
mean it's great.
Yeah,
Right.
But
That doesn't mean it's great. If he sell you a 7 for 80 and he sell you a 7 for 85, it's not really,
Well, no,
it's not really
times
luck.
as much though. It's 4 times as much.
Yeah.
That's a lot more. That's a
75
lot.
cents per stream.
Is what?
75 cents.
No, it's not.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not
If it
knocking it
was,
because it's a
Right,
better
it might be
model.
like
half a penny.
But just because it's better than every
1.5
other
cents
model
or something.
doesn't mean
Doesn't
it's
mean it's
good.
a good model.
Right.
You know, it's just better.
If the
by
model itself is
presentation,
fucked, yeah.
right? On principle, they're offering to give you more than other people are offering to give you. But that doesn't always mean, I'm not saying that with Tidal, but that doesn't always mean you truly benefit. You know what I'm saying? Because you still have to sell an enormous amount of music for it to even add up and make financial sense. Streaming really only makes money for the most successful of us, and that's strip club money for the Drakes of the world and the Taylor Swifts of the world. The money they make from streaming, that's strip club money. That's not real money. You can't buy that car Khaled drive around with on streams. You got to have ancillary income, and all these niggas that are wealthy, there's some rich niggas in rap, but the niggas that's wealthy have other businesses. They've learned how to take that cultural equity and put it in other places.
Diversify their portfolio.
Absolutely. But
Snoop
make no
said he
mistake
got some bullshit
about
off
it. Make no mistake about it. The richest rappers are predominantly the best. If you take the 100 richest rappers, 95 of them niggas is nice. The other 5 work harder than the niggas that's nicer than them.
And the richest rappers stay the fuck out the way. You don't see Jay out here running around putting his personal business, or Cole or Kendrick. We're talking about the biggest rappers. Drake's a little loose on social media more than the rest of them. But
that's the brand.
Yeah, but they'll be.
So it doesn't deviate from the brand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hate him or love him, Kanye's still one of the biggest streaming artists, and he's off the grid for the most part. Like, we lost the celebrity when we took the mystery away. Social media took the mystery away from a lot of artists. Not all of them, but look at Cole and Kendrick are the prime example. If you don't know what the fuck's going on in their life, but they're still the biggest. And that is the true. We didn't know about Prince's daily life or Michael Jackson's daily life. Like, being a star, you have to have some mystery there.
I'm not sure we even cared.
Didn't matter.
I'm sure there were people who would have cared if they thought they had access.
I'm sure they were interested.
Yeah.
You give a fuck
I'm
who
interested.
Kendrick voted for?
I'm interested in shit, but that's just for being.
It definitely wasn't as important as it is now.
But as intrusive as social media is now, like, I don't think, I can't see there being another artist like that.
There is, though. We got the Coles and Kendricks and Jay-Z's. Like,
No, but these are guys still coming.
We don't know his kids' names. You don't know, like, his wife. It's all private. His whole thing.
Why does that matter with the art, though?
It doesn't.
If I know,
in today's world,
if
it
I knew
does.
J. Cole's wife's name and his kids and all of that shit, would it make me appreciate his music anymore?
No, but
if I knew more about a nigga's life, does that make me want to like him?
It depreciates the
Yeah,
value of the
in a
artist.
way, if the music is in
reflective
Yeah,
of his
if it's
lifestyle.
reflective
Like,
of
So
what's
and so
going on.
maybe they don't show that because maybe it's not reflective. Maybe maybe the real you, maybe the real me ain't for you to consume anyway, because that ain't what you want to know about me.
That's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact.
Like you have all these, there's a lot of female artists that do a lot of, and male artists that send out messages about single lifestyles, and I do this, and I'm rocking, and I fuck with all these type of people, and I'm getting money and all of that, and it couldn't be further away from what their life is.
You find out that they're actually homebodies and in the house cooking and cleaning.
And for some people, that's not a deal breaker, my nigga. It's not a deal breaker.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't give a fuck what you just make good music, my nigga, and go be who you gonna be.
Well, Bun, you're a connoisseur. You're not a consumer. It's gonna land a little different for you.
No, I don't listen to a bunch of rap music because I love rap music. I started listening to a bunch of rap music because I love rap music. The rest, this shit now is R&D. This R&D. I'm gonna bump into you niggas somewhere. I rap with everybody, my nigga. I rap with all of them.
I love it.
Most niggas gonna call me.
He got battle rap.
Most niggas will call me.
It.
But there is discernment based on my legacy and how it impacts. So I can't rap with everybody I want to, but I'm ready to rap against everybody I have to.
Salute.
Trill Statik 3 out right now. Go get that.
Bust down rolling for the hell of it. It's my time to shine, spotlights is my element. Fuck a plain Jane, don't insult my intelligence. I don't plan on selling it, so I don't see the relevance. You niggas having pawn shop nightmares. I'm light years ahead of niggas, even on a light year. Dawn Perignon stain the laces of my night ears. Born poor, but I'ma die rich, nigga, life's fair.